All right, so let's begin Pilates mat. I'm going to back up so you can see my torso, but I'm not too far away. And we'll begin this mindful Pilates practice with activation of our transverse abdominis. Remember how I told you there are these acronyms in my book? So they call it the TVA, transverse abdominis. Okay, so either stand or sit and place your hands on your abdomen, your thumbs on your ribs, your pinkies on your top of your hip bone, and take a few fluid breaths. And I'm going to let Izzy in or she'll keep scratching. Take a few fluid breaths, breathing into your hands. And before we feel for this activation of the transverse abdominis, I want us to feel into three-dimensional breath. So breathe into your hands. Try to breathe even into your low fingers. Relax on the exhales. Now bring your hands around to the side waists. Breathe the side waists wide. I love your shirt, Kathy. Be love. Okay, that's a good reminder for us all this year. Be love. Let's also love our bodies. Breathe into your hands. And now either rest the back of your hands, your arms, or the palms against your back body and breathe into your hands at the low back and at the low back ribs. Notice if your chest is expanding and stretching a lot, try to invite the breath down into your hands. It's okay if the chest stretches too, but really concentrate on your low back. Okay, now release your hands back around to the front. So what we're feeling for in this exercise is an activation underneath the obliques of this whole corset muscle, which is your transverse abdominis, that wraps around you literally like a corset. We want it to turn on in the front, the sides, and the back. And we want it to feel like saran wrap, kind of tightening inside beneath some of the exterior muscles. Now, when we do these exhaled breaths, we can also activate our obliques, but we could also only be activating our obliques, and we want to make sure we're activating the transverse abdominis beneath it. So you're feeling for a gentle cinching in, like there's this thin layer that's cinching in on your abdomen as he wants attention. Okay, so what we're going to do today is take a deep inhale and exhale fully and hold the breath out for a moment and try to release your abdomen away from your hands. Just a little bit more and feel for that tightening. And then soften and take an inhale. So exhaling fully should help you activate the transverse abdominis. Pause at the bottom of your exhale and try to tighten it just a little more. Now don't make this a clinching effort or you'll be activating your obliques. If muscles pooch into your hands, that's your obliques. When you need to, soften and take an inhale. Then exhale fully. Pause at the bottom of your exhale and tighten the transverse abdominis just a little bit more. It's a saran wrap. And then when you need to, take a soft, gentle, full inhale. And now bring your hands to your side waists and still feel for the front abdomen's transverse abdominis tissue tightening, but also feel for it under your hands. Soften when you need to. Take a deep and full inhale. And then exhale fully. Pause at the bottom of the exhale and gently tighten that corset muscle that protects your spine. And then soften and inhale, hands to the back. Feel for the transverse abdominis, just tightening gently here at the bottom of your exhale as you take the abdomen a little away from your palms and fingers. And then inhale fully. Relax your hands to your sides and continue for a few more rounds, feeling for a full three-dimensional inhale. And then exhaling fully, feel for the transverse abdominis activating and gently hugging in. In this exercise, less is more. You're not working at 100% or you're activating the outer core. Work really subtly, maybe even just at 30%. Feel for that inner core just gently wrapping you. Soften and inhale whenever you need to. Don't hold your breath too long. Just enough at the bottom of the exhale to feel for this gentle hug of this inner layer. And learn the concentration of feeling for it deep in the body. In the back, in the side waist, and in the front. Now notice if you're clenching muscles in your neck or shoulders, try to relax those. Feel for these muscles in the abdomen, even with a long spine and relaxed shoulders. We tend to overactivate. We're training the inner core. It's subtle work. Exhale, feel for that saran wrap layer hugging in. Now that we start recognizing it, we can look for it in our daily activities. We inhale softly, three-dimensionally. We exhale softly. We feel for that gentle hug, that support all the way around our torso. Shoulders relaxed, neck relaxed, head resting back. Don't over effort. Now think of this gentle motion inward, this as a hug, a loving act towards your own body, your own spine. Soften and inhale, exhale, and hug yourself from the inside. Make sure your buttocks aren't activating. You're not clenching your butt to do this work. Soften the buttocks and the shoulders. Find that inner hug. Okay, let's open our eyes. Got the concentration going. Let's come to the floor and let's begin lying on our backs. Please have your ball, your block, or your oof ready. And lying on your back. Head on a pillow if you need one. Remember, it's just the head on the pillow, not the vertebrae. Let your hands rest upward, palms up, thumbs out, and relax across your shoulder girdle. Come back to your three-dimensional breath. Relaxing your shoulders wide, relaxing your eyes back in your sockets, relaxing your jaw, the muscles of your face. Feeling for the three-dimensional breath expanding inside your torso. Expanding this whole thoracic pelvic canister. Shoulders relaxed, head and neck relaxed. Now, as you exhale, feel for that gentle hug. Pause at the bottom of your exhale, feel for it here, and maintain your neutral lumbar curve. If you flatten your spine, you're working too hard. Getting a little forehead clean from my puppy. Feel for the transverse abdominis hugging in without a change to the shape of your spine. And on your next exhale, as the transverse abdominis hugs in, slowly float one leg to tabletop. And then inhaling three-dimensionally, shoulders still relaxed, release the foot back to the floor. And then exhale. Next leg rises. And inhale, release it down. Face, jaw, shoulders relaxed. Buttocks only working as much as needed. The front hip flexors do a lot of this work. Activate the transverse abdominis before you start floating the leg. Keep it activating, gently hugging in. Feel for it at the base of your exhale. And then inhale down, keeping the transverse abdominis active. So you can inhale three-dimensionally inside an active transverse abdominis. Exhale when you're ready. Float the leg. Pause at the bottom of your exhale. Feel for that hug. And then inhale into the hug as you lower the leg. And continue with this for a few more breath cycles. Exhaling the leg up. Feeling for the hug. Inhaling inside the hug, filling the hug. Jill, you're getting your wish for concentration. Shoulders relaxed, neck relaxed. Feel for the hug inside, around the abdomen. And now this time, as you exhale and then float the leg up, pause with the leg up. Inhale inside the hug and exhale, float the other leg up. Bring your hands to the front of your femurs. Press your palms gently into your femurs. Gently hug the legs towards your chest without changing the shape of your spine. Inhale into the hug. Exhale. Feel the hug. Don't overdo it. Shoulders and neck and jaw relaxed. Even the toes don't have to work too hard. Even the fingers. And then hug your knees into your chest. The back can flatten and circle your knees. Part from each other and back together again. And just relax. That's intense inner work. Take your circles the other way. Just let yourself relax and breathe. And feel for this inner core as we begin our series of 5. Left leg lengthens either up towards the sky or out at your 45. Nod your nose toward your mouth and almost lift from the hairline. activating your front neck flexors. Take an inhale, pausing here. Exhale, feel for that hug of the transverse abdominis, maybe a lift of the pelvic floor, and switch, and switch. Can you inhale inside an active transverse abdominis even as you move? Notice this will help stabilize your pelvis. Some of you may want to lift your head towards the sky. Contraindicated with osteoporosis. Keep the head on the floor if you need to, and just activate the top of the forehead. We reach and reach, but we're moving slowly and mindfully. We're not flopping the legs around. We're feeling for that inner strength inside the thoracic pelvic canister. And draw both knees back in. Rest the head down. Reach hands and feet for the sky. Zip up the inner thighs. Take an inhale. Now exhale a little before you lower wrists away from ankles. Feel for that inner canister of strength, even at the low back and side waist. Circle the arms and hug the knees in. Move really slowly today. Feeling for that strength wrapping around your torso to help you hold the limbs at these odd angles. Remember, it'll be a little easier if you take your feet straight for the sky or just a little lower. Don't go too low or you'll activate muscles in the low back. We're aiming for this inner core activation today and every day. We inhale, wrists away from ankles. Exhale, hug the knees in. Now bring the right foot overhead, left leg long. Point your toes, flex your feet, point and flex. Feel the fascia stretch. And then a gentle point and just an inch movement, pulse, pulse. Nod your nose towards your mouth, almost lift from the hairline and switch. Pulse, pulse. Now, even as you move here, can you stay aware of your breath? The possibility of activating the transverse abdominis as your legs move. Some of you will be able to lift the head towards the shins, lengthen through the spine. Wherever you are, make sure you don't go so far that you can't continue to concentrate on that inner core. Remember, you can bend the front knee if you need to because of tight hamstrings, but try to keep the other leg long. And bring the legs back together. Rest your arms down, palms up. Bend your knees. Take a deep, fluid inhale. Exhale, spread out on the floor. Inhale. Exhale, activate your transverse abdominis as you toe dip one foot towards the floor. Exhale it back up and inhale the next foot towards the floor and bring it back up. Feel into that canister even on the inhale. The transverse abdominis gently hugging you and feel the hug. And if you don't feel it, continue to imagine a muscle that's like a corset hugging in all around your spine, underneath the rectus abdominis, your washboard muscle, underneath your obliques, the muscles that help you twist. It gently hugs to support the spine. When you fill it with air, you support the spine. When you exhale the TA into activation, you support the spine. Now you can stay with this single leg toe dip or toe dip both feet, inhaling down to fill the canister, exhaling up, keeping as much of your lumbar curve as you can. If you need a blanket under your sacrum, please put it there. Shoulders broad, neck and jaw as relaxed as possible. Now the fascia will activate the muscles and fascia up the body, but try not to overactivate. Look how challenging it is when we go slow. Come back up and pause, taking a deep inhale. Relaxing the body open on the exhale. Take another deep inhale. Follow the exhale out, feeling for your transverse abdominis hug. and gently lift your pelvic floor. Soften for the inhale. Exhale, feel for the transverse abdominis hugging. Maintain the hug and fill it with the inhale. Now float your hands behind your head and exhale. Lift your right elbow, lengthen your right leg, point your right toe. Really lift the right ribs off the floor. Rest back and exhale the other side. Let's inhale in today and exhale the lift and lengthen. Inhale back to neutral. Exhale the lift and lengthen. And continue to feel for how do I support myself from the inside? Wake up to this inner core that can support me in so many activities in my day. Moving slowly, feel into what's working. Really try to rest your head into your hands. Feel the length of your spine. Flow through your movements. Ah, yes. We are working the obliques now, but we're also still working that inner core. We're developing conscious connection with that inner core. And when you've evened your sides, release your head, release your arms, and float one foot light as a feather to the floor, and then the other. And nod your tailbone towards the sky and your tailbone towards the earth. And just nod your pelvis. Release the low back. Now come into your somatic walking. Left knee out over left toes. Draw the left heel towards your buttocks. And then switch. Drawing the right heel towards your buttocks and rock your body side to side. As you reach the knee over the toes and lift the hip, draw the heel back to the buttocks and feel, oh wow, how much you can activate your hamstrings in this motion. Fluid breath. Shoulders relaxed open. We borrow from Feldenkrais in our somatic walking. Fluid breath. Now let your pelvis come to neutral and bring your arms into your robot position. Shoulder, head of the arm bone back, all the way down to the elbow. Press your humerus bones into the floor. Broaden across your shoulder girdle. Press the bones back and take a deep inhale into the torso. Exhale, float one leg to tabletop. Keep the arms pressing back. Inhale, take the foot back down. Exhale, the next leg rises, and inhale, lowers. See if you can still feel into your transverse abdominis even as you work the shoulders and the arms and begin to work strength into the back body in a position that helps us find postural neutral. Broad across your shoulders. Remember, you don't have to press back at 100% of effort. You may be at 30 or 50 or 70 at max. The head of the arm bone presses back evenly with the elbow. Now release the feet to the floor, and release your head from your pillow if you're using one. And then pressing the arms back, shoulders broad, lift your pelvis. Lift your right hip higher than your left, and then your left hip higher than your right, pressing into the four corners of the foot of the lifting hip. Feel for the three arches, all while broad across the back body and strong in the back of the arms. Feel how you're strengthening your back body here. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. Let's try inhaling the lift, exhaling, exhaling, and exhaling. Inhale, inhale, Exhale, 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 pause, feel for your TA, and then inhale, 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 exhale, 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 pause, feel for your TA, and then inhale, inhale, just two, exhale, 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 three, and pause, feel for your TA, and inhale, 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 exhale, 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 and pause, and come back to neutral, inhaling, and exhale, lift your pubic bone towards the sky, and pulse, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and pause, feel broad across your shoulders, strong in your arms. And exhale, lower the pelvis to the floor. Release your arms. Float one leg into tabletop and draw the knee towards the chest. The other leg in towards the chest. Hands wrapped around your knees. Circle the knees together around the perimeter of your sacrum. You roll and feel the perimeter of your sacrum. Happy New Year, sacrum. Take your circles the other way. Yes, Happy New Year, SI joints. We want a happy and healthy year. And then hug the legs in and reach for your long TheraBand. I hope I said that I wanted you to have that here. And bring it up over your right foot. Left foot to the floor. We'll pendulum the right leg. Down and back up. Let's exhale the leg up and inhale it down. Notice how the exhale can activate your transverse abdominis. It can help you with the lift, with the stabilization of the core for the lifting leg. Now lift the leg up and lengthen the other leg on the floor if that's okay for your back. If not, keep it bent. And take your lifted foot across the body towards the big toe side, down towards the foot of the mat, and then out in a circle. Let the circle be small at first. You could be drawing a soccer ball. Shoulders broad, humerus bones resting back, neck in its neutral curve. Take your circles a little larger into the beach ball if you'd like. And if it starts to feel like, oh, it's straining me, then go back to the smaller circle. Now, see if you can match the circles with a breathing pattern. And on your exhales, activate your transverse abdominis and then try to keep it active inside the circles. Those of you who've been doing this a while and have the core strength, you can make your circles bigger. But let the focus be on keeping conscious of the transverse abdominis. And pause the circle at the top. Now small circles the other way towards the pinky toe first. Start with the soccer ball. Keep your transverse abdominis active. Maybe the circles get bigger. Keep feeling for that inner core turned on. Shoulders are resting back. Humerus bones are on the floor. Neck is in neutral. Your gaze is perpendicular to the floor. Feel for that inner core stability. And when the foot comes back around, let's switch feet in the strap. First foot rests on the floor, knee bent towards the sky, and we pendulum the foot. Now as your foot comes up, look at it. I like to have the TheraBand over your big toe and pinky toe so you can press evenly into these corners of your foot. If you wrap it around like a stirrup, then you may go into your habits as far as activating the four corners of your feet. Feel for the femur bone moving as independently as possible in the hip joint, keeping your neutral lumbar curve here in the pendulum. That means your foot may be penduluming low to the foot of the mat. Some of you will have more range of motion and be able to come higher. Now, either leave the bent leg foot here or lengthen the leg out on the mat and take the leg in the TheraBand towards the big toe side, down towards the foot of the mat and out in a small soccer ball circle. Find your breath. Find your transverse abdominis. See if you can breathe into an active transverse abdominis as you work with the leg. The circles can get larger if you can sustain them. The focus is on our transverse abdominis today. Now bring the leg to the top and start your circles the other way. Just small to begin with. And then maybe they get larger. Don't go for large right away. Stay grounded in your shoulders. Grounded in the long leg and pelvis. Feel for that hug inside your other abdominal muscles. The obliques have to work here to help you stabilize, yes. See if you can wake up the transverse abdominis corset and keep it active. And bring the foot back around and release both feet back into your somatic walking. Release your arms, palms up, thumbs out. Rest the arms broad. And then relax your pelvis. Bring the palms to face each other across the body and press the humerus bones back, broad across the shoulder girdle. Feel your back body activate, keeping your neutral curves in your neck and your lumbar spine. Just press the arms back. Press them broad. Let your eyes fall back in their sockets and your face smile. Feel into the strength you can create by just pressing your arms back into the floor. Breathe into the whole circumference of your thoracic pelvic canister. On your next exhale, arms pressing back, no pillow under your head. Lift your pelvis into a bridge. And again, lift the right hip high and then the left. Just let yourself sway side to side. Consciousness now in your shoulder girdle broad, your strong arms against the floor. Waking up the back body, come to neutral and pulse your pubic bone skyward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and pause. Shoulders broad and grounded. Now hug in your glutes to hug your sit bones towards one another. Feel your shoulders. Feel your glutes. Breathe into the whole 3 dimensions between them. Relax your shoulders, relax your glutes, rest your sacrum on the floor, somatic walking. Relax. Okay, we've spent some time here, so we're not going to ball block or ooh. We're going to roll ourselves over and come onto hands and knees. Actually, let's bring our ball forward today. And let's place the ball out to the right side of our hand and place our right hand on the ball. Okay, if you don't have a ball, you could use like a scarf or something. But I do recommend getting a Gertie ball if you don't have one. Now, long spine. Look down at your standing hand. Fingers are evenly spread. Your elbow isn't locked. Now feel across your shoulder girdle. Breathe, lengthen to your spine. And exhale, feel for your transverse abdominis. Go all the way to the bottom of your exhale and pause. Hug the TA in a little more. And then inhale and lift your arm. Shoulder blade active on the back body. Touch the ball lightly to the floor and lift and touch and lift and touch, lift and touch and lift and touch. Now lift and take the ball forward towards the top of your head, lower and touch, lift and touch, lift and touch, lift and touch, lift and take it out to the side and hold. Long spine, take a deep inhale. Exhale fully. Feel for the TA hugging in and release the ball. Take the ball to the other side. Out. Check in with the elbow of your standing arm. Long spine even at the neck. And inhale into your whole torso. Exhale fully and feel for that inner hug and float the shoulder blade onto your back. And this time, inhale, release, and exhale, float. And inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Long, strong spine. Corset muscle turned on. We float the arm up and take it forward and lower and lift. Do whatever breathing pattern's right for you. And come back out and lower and lift and lower and lift and hold. Broad across your shoulder girdle, strong in that lifted shoulder blade. And release the ball. Hands together on the mat, inhale a cow. And stretch from your crown chakra to your pelvic floor. Breathe into that length three-dimensionally. Create space between the vertebrae. Traction your shoulders away from your pelvis, your head away from your shoulders. And then exhale into your hissing cat, lifting the navel, lifting the spine. Press your hands away from your knees. Breathe into the back body. Exhale, relax into your shape. Inhale, fill the back with a stretch. And exhale, come back to neutral, big toes together, knees wide. Roll back. Stretching your hands forward, child's pose. Remember, you can always do this on a chair or on a piece of furniture in a half dog. Walk your hands around towards the right side. Breathe into your left side body and really stretch your quadratus laborum, your whole side. Breathe into the sides of your canister. Expand the left side. And then exhale. Take your hands around to the left and breathe into the right side. Rest the right sit bone away from the right hand and expand the right side. Come back to center. Roll up to hands and knees and take one foot back. Pressing down into the hands and that one foot, lift the other shin just off the floor. Keep the neck long. You can stay here or take the foot back into a full plank. Fluid breath. Now remember, you could be almost lifting yourself off the shin, or you can lift the shin just a couple centimeters off the floor, or you can be in your full plank. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, fully feel for that hug all around the spine. Deep inhale. Exhale, fully feel for that hug all the way around the spine. One more deep inhale. Hug all the way around the spine. Release both legs down. Inhale your cow and pause, stretching from crown to pelvic floor. Really try to open the back of the neck, broad across the shoulders, and lift into your hissing cat. Press hands away from knees. Breathe into releasing the back body open. Practice breathing into the back body here. And lower the sit bones towards the heels a little and more breath into the back body. Navel still lifting towards spine, activating your core. Float forward. And this time take the opposite foot back. Float or almost float the shin off the floor. Long neck. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, feel for your transverse abdominis. Pause at the bottom of the exhale, hug it in a little more. Few more breaths. You can step the foot back if you like. And you can roll back into your downward dog. Pause, fingers active in your downward dog. Strong arms. Stretching open the shoulders and reaching back to the sit bones. You may need to bend your knees to find that long back body. Don't compromise it by trying to straighten the legs and cat curling the low back, bad for the lumbar discs. Long spine. Take the legs open if your hamstrings and hips allow you to. Fluid breath. Three-dimensional breath. Step the feet forward and bend your knees. And inhale, hands to the heart. Utkatasana. Find that length of your spine. Exhale fully and hug in gently the transverse abdominis. Quieter today, trying to allow you time to concentrate, to feel that inner core. Release your arms and let them sway. Let go the shoulder joints. And inhale, reach for the sky. Interlace your fingers, thumbs to the base of the skull and lift. Rest your head back, elbows skyward. Come into a standing back bend. Your pelvis stays in neutral. Deep inhale. Exhale fully and hug in your transverse abdominis. Come back to neutral and release your arms. Okay, let's pick up our hand weights now. And let's begin to move a little bit more and see if we can keep this awareness. So you do not have to use hand weights, only use them if you'd like to. Bring your hands to your sides and open broad across your collarbones. Bring your arms up into that robot position we had on the floor. Rest your shoulder girdle broad back behind you. Rest your humerus bones back. Root into your heels and pretend like there's a wall behind you. Press the whole humerus bone back into the wall. Okay, so this is something new we haven't done in a long time. We're going to stretch one arm forward, turn it palm down like we're punching, but keep the arm bone integrated. Draw it back in, and the next, and in. And we punch and in, punch and in. Find your breath. Maybe it's an inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. It may even be 3. Find your breath. Don't be surprised if your exhale's really long because we worked on that exhale to completion. I'm finding like I have 5 or 6 punches of my exhale and just a couple inhale, but that's because of the work we've already done. Make sure your knees aren't locked. Let your exhale be as long as it would like to be. Pause, one arm extended. Broaden across your shoulder girdle. Take an inhale into the whole circumference of your torso. Exhale fully through pursed lips. Feel for that activation of the inner core. Lift your pelvic floor. Lengthen the spine. Draw this arm back in. Take the other arm out. Inhale. Exhale fully and slowly. Feel for the activation of the transverse abdominis. Shoulder integrated. Broad across the back body. And draw your arm back in. Release your arms down to your sides and bicep curl. Feel for your breath. Let's do an inhale, bicep curl and release. Exhale, 2 bicep curls and release. See if you can do that. Inhale 1 and exhale 2. Now, inhale 1, lift to the toe. Exhale 2, keep the knee lifted and release. Inhale 1, lift to the toe. Exhale 2, lift the knee if you'd like to. And release. Inhale, and then inhale, and inhale, release. Inhale, toe. Inhale, knee, and knee, release. Inhale, toe. Inhale, knee, and knee, release. Inhale, toe. Inhale, knee, and knee, release. One more time. Toe. And knee, release. Toe. Knee, and knee, release. Let your arms begin to swing gently as if you're hiking. Remember, we don't throw the elbow too hard back or we throw the head of the arm bone forward into the rotator cuff. The heart stays lifted, the gaze lifted, and let's start lifting the opposite knee. Can you stay broad across your shoulders, lifted open in the heart, and let the arms swing? Don't overgrip the hand weights. We don't need to use effort where it's unneeded. Perhaps the toe points so the knee lifts easily off the floor. Try to relax into motion. Try not to lift the shoulders up towards the ears. Let them swing naturally. Humerus bone a little heavier than the shoulder girdle. There's some space in the shoulder itself in the swing. Beautiful. Now, if you have room, you can march up and down without tripping on your props. Heart stays lifted, gaze stays lifted. Fluid breath. 3-dimensional breath. and then release. Inhale, lift your arms out into a T. Exhale, take the left arm forward. Inhale, the left arm open. Exhale, the right arm forward. Inhale and release. Inhale, the lift. Exhale, left arm forward. Inhale, open. Exhale, right arm forward. Inhale, open and hold. Lift to one toe. See if you can lift the knee and balance. Press down with the arms and broad, even as they're integrated. Turn the palms up and bicep curl. Try for 3 times. And step down. Roll your shoulders. Float the arms up. Lift to your toe. Turn the palms up. Lift the knee. And try for 3 bicep curls. Breathing into the whole circumference of your torso. A release. Roll your shoulders. Feet pointed straight ahead. Heels under your sit bones. Bend your knees. Hinge slightly forward. Hands towards the floor. Draw the elbows back and lengthen the arms. Now feel into being broad across your collarbones. Shoulder blades on the back. Triceps in the back of the arm working. We don't throw the hands so high that we throw the head of the arm bone forward. We're feeling for the head of the arm bone resting back. Bend the elbows, lower, lift the hands and open. Bend and lower, lift and open. Bend and lower, lift and open and hold. Broad across the shoulder girdle, long neck. Take a deep inhale. Exhale fully and hug gently in your transverse abdominis. Release your elbows, release your hands, come to standing and roll your shoulders. Release your hand weights and pick up your TheraBand. Now eventually, I was thinking about this today. In the studio, we used to use the TheraBand like this, where we would step on it. But we had to have really long TheraBands, especially for those of you that are tall. So I don't know if you have that today. But let's try to get that eventually so that we can do some arm work like this. So just let me see how many of you have that. Yeah, some of them are too short because you don't want to be pulling too hard. So you may want to get a little longer TheraBand. Okay, all right. Take it up over the top of your head. And take the TheraBand wide in your hands. And just let your arms rest and gently pull the TheraBand. And from the 4 corners of each foot, lengthen up your legs. Through your pelvis, up the sleeve of your spine, into the TheraBand overhead. Find your shoulder blades on your back body. Turn your palms forward and really feel for the shoulder blades. You may want to walk up your TheraBand a little more. I wanted a little more tension so I could feel my shoulder blades. And stand on your right foot, lift to the left toe. And lift the knee and circle. Remember, you can stay here with the toe on the floor, or you can lift the knee as high as is comfortable. Opening the hips. Shoulder blades firm on the back. Heart open. Step down. Lift to the other toe. Stay strong in the back body and circle. 2 and 3 and step down. Now staying long in your spine, take a deep inhale. Exhale, activate all around the spine and take 1 foot back. And float yourself forward towards a Virabhadrasana 3. Shoulder blades strong on your back. Breathe into your whole thoracic pelvic canister. Exhale fully, feel for your transverse abdominis. And then inhale back to standing. Take the other foot back. Long spine into the TheraBand, shoulder blades on the back, and hinge. Fluid breath filling the canister. And then exhale and come back. Release the theraband. Pause in your Pilates V. Palms facing forward, thumbs out, shoulder blades on the back. Broad across the front chest, broad across the back shoulder blades. But feel the shoulder blades hugging your back ribs like your palms are pressing forward. Feel for them. Keep these loving hands on your back body and bend your knees. Lift your legs long and lift to the balls of your feet. And bend your knees and lower your heels and straighten and lift and bend and lower. But keep your consciousness in those hands of the shoulder blades on your back, broad and strong. Humerus bones open across the front collar. And come back to your breath. Now go the opposite way. We'll lift the heels with bent knees, straighten up and lower. Bend the knees, lift the heels, lift from the back shoulder blades and lower. Bend, lift the heels, and then shoulder blades lift you up and back. Bend, lift the heels, shoulder blades lift you and lower you down. And let's inhale and draw in to our growing consciousness of this inner support system that is always there. Let's inhale in this beautiful breath and fill ourselves with pranic energy. And let's inhale into the new year, 2024, together in our practice. Thank you. All right. Hi, Evan. Good to see you.